Hey, what's up? Welcome. Today, I am very proud to bring the newest jet from Touchtoys, the J-16N Nacrmmi. I kind of prefer the old name of Volan Shark myself, but it gets the job done. And so, big box, really cool artwork. With a couple more of them flying around in the back. Love that look, love it. Box, nothing too crazy. You've got the picture of the jet on the one side, you got the name on the one side, picture of the bot, really cool pose, and then product shots with, all accessories and things of that nature. So, big box. So big, in fact, I cannot do my normal transition here, but here he is. Touchtoys Nacrmmi. You see, I've got the missiles already mounted, but that is it. So let's take a look at accessories first, real quick. So you've got your collector card, with the tech specs on the back there. Now it's all in Chinese, so I don't know what it says. I have not translated the tech specs, but there you go. And then again, really cool artwork. You've got the warranty card. Cool, they give us that. Touchtoys gave us a gray spudger to go with, so that's pretty cool. And then you've got a stand, and this stand, nice nameplate, J-16N, the webcomic logo for Wu Tian Yusheng 2035, no heaven above 2035. This one, it does fold up just like the one for Carefree did, so you can put the missiles here if you wish. You can, of course, mount the jet on the stand. It only has the one position here, but then once you mount it, you can rotate it that far and that far. And then this, you can get a little bit of a rotate at. We're going to see in a second how much of a rotate we can do. Let's get them mounted up. So to get them mounted up, you got to take out the little catch bar here, and then it's see, what was it again? One tab going into there, two tabs going into there, and I'll just mount it for a second. So there we go. One tab did not want to line up, and then the hook. The hook hooks into there. I found I can also rest it on top of it, but hooking it in is significantly more stable. Oh, I am sorry. That was a noise. But there we go. Man, it does look magnificent on that stand. And of course, you can rotate the whole thing. Let's see, that is a pretty deep bank that you can get on that. And that looks so cool. Only other accessory you get, other than, the missiles, is a very thick, look how thick that is, instruction booklet. So now that I've got them on a stand, we can get a good look at them. And I'll do more close-up here in a minute. Very cool, very good detail. You've got all the rivet lines. The panel lines, yeah, you're not going to escape that. It is a transformer, but still. Painted gold on the inside of the thrusters here. Painted silver up here. And then other than that, you've just got other painted details. If you look closely, right here, it shows up under black light, but this is the logo for the, I know it's for the webcomic. It was like the 3rd division or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's one of those on each wing, but, shows up under black light. I can show you the cockpit as well. Got a little dust on there already. So you open that up, and it's got 2 seats. Focus, there you go. It's got 2 seats, which, just like with Carefree, do turn into the head. Fake little console on the front there. Very nice, shiny plastic. And then it's painted kind of like a chrome paint on the extreme ends of it there. Overall, very, very, very cool. Then this is the refueling port. So it is very difficult for me to get this out. Let's see. It kind of comes up and out at an angle. Hey, there we go. I got it. There we go. See what I mean? Comes out at an angle. Weird. But, little refueling port. So it's there if you want it, you know. If this is going to be going alongside actual model aircraft, then, you know, that may fit. And, only other thing... Here, let's go ahead and take it off the stand here. There we go. I'm going to fold that catch back up, and I'll get that out of the way. We're done with the stand. Next thing I can do is show you that, because they advertise this, you can take one of Carefray's missiles, the biggest one, and it can plop right in here. So you get an extra one. And that does not affect the stand. The stand mounts back here, so you can still have it on there. There we go. Look at that. All armored up. I'll get that out of the way. Landing gear, he does have it, of course. You've got a panel here and here. Now this one, this corner, you got to make sure that it stays inside the wing. It wants to pop out on top of the wing, and then it locks up. So there we go. Lifting it up, I'm going to keep using a spudger for this. And just lift it up from here. If the wheel is all the way in the shock, the strut, it'll lock up. It's a locking point. So you do need to make sure that it is out just a little bit, which it is right now. There we go. And once you get it that far, I can keep going, and then I'll push it up, and that locks it. You know, it only comes out a little bit. And then you can close this up if you want, or leave it open. I will go ahead and just do that. We'll do the next one. There we go. Okay, I got it. There we go. That one just wanted to fight a lot. But there we go. So, main landing gear. And then for the front, you've got this panel right here. And pulling it out is weird, because if you just pull up by this part, you're not going to really get anywhere. Oh, I proved myself wrong on camera. That has not worked for me yet, the entire, 4 days that I've had this thing so far. I had to do a little bit by that, and then a little bit by the front here, and just go back and forth. But anyway, there we go. Some really cool red paint with some fake warning labels on the inside of that, and then you just have some regular red paint on the inside of these. Other than that, it's a very monotone aircraft. Monocolor, sorry. But there you go. He rolls well. You know, the landing gear are mostly out. This one has like a thoop that locks it in place. The others do as well. But granted, he's only supposed to really roll forward, so me pushing him backwards, I'm not surprised if this is going to roll in. But there you go. That is about it for his accessories, his features. All I can do is we'll just do a little bit more of a close-up here to show you some of these things. I'll have him do a very short drive-by here just to let you see all the detail, because it is impressive. Like, I think, you know, you've got the panel lines, of course, from it transforming, but I think that this could do really well on a shelf with other actual models. Right? I mean, you've got detail. You've got some turbines in the front there. My camera is apparently my lighting setup doesn't want to pick it up. I can't be too surprised. But you've got the this bar will come down all the way, even though it doesn't need to come down that far. You do have weapon storage for the actual robot weapon. You can see part of it right here and part of it right here. It is actually an integral part of the fuselage. Without it, you will have your aircraft mode will not be complete. It will lock in fine, but it just won't be complete. But there we go. So there's that. Really, really cool. Really big. Let's do a couple of size comparisons real quick. First one I'll do, of course, will be Carefree. Touchtoys Carefree, so we can see how much bigger he is. Do that, and let's go nose to nose, and yeah, you can see how much longer he is. He's a big boy. We do that, and there you go. All right, and next up, we'll get MP52 Masterpiece Ultra Thrust. Okay, so you know there's a generic Takara mold, and you know we know deformation space is just a little bit bigger than these guys are. I just noticed he's mistransformed. That's fine, but you know there's that. And then the last one I'll do is MPM3, just so we can see a average Carbot compared to him. So you can see, you know, if you've got a lot of other more name brand stuff, you can see the immense size difference here. So, and yeah, he is bigger than Deformation Space Seekers. Not by like a massive amount, but he is bigger. So, now, that's about all for his alt mode. His transformation is something else. It is complex. It's not difficult to do the transformation. It's difficult to remember the transformation, especially since there are a few points, especially with the chest and with the arms, which include the main wings. If you do something out of sequence, you are not going to be able to proceed. It's you have to do step A, then B, then C. You can't go switching around. So, because his transformation is complicated and it is long, I'm going to do that in a separate video. Otherwise, this one might end up being like 2 hours long, and I'm not trying to do that to myself or anybody else. So, I'm going to skip ahead to robot mode for this video. The transformation will be linked in the description. I'll make sure I upload both the videos at the same time. Alright. Okay. Here he is in robot mode. And man, what an ordeal that transformation is sometimes. It is just super complicated. I've got it down to about 40 minutes. But doing it in front of the camera, like reaching out and having to do it, it made it so much more difficult. But there it is. There he is. And he looks magnificent. Absolutely love it. You know, he is pretty monotone. You know, you got little bits of green and gold, but other than that, it's mostly just different shades of gray. It's 50 shades of gray. Anyway. So, let's get a look at him. First and foremost, here it is. He does have the light up feature. One for solid blue, a second tap for a breathing blue, and then a third tap for red. So he does have that. You can store all of the missiles on the back of his wings, just like Carefree, and just like in jet mode. Let's go ahead and look at articulation here. So his head is on a ball joint. It can swivel. Well, it's not a. I'm sorry, it's not a ball joint. So it'll swivel. It'll do a 360. Right? It's like a little stiff in some areas, but it will. Yeah, come on. I'm committed now. There we go. It's on a horizontal post, so for looking, it'll look a little up and a little down. Looking down is worthless because then he's just looking at his chest. But still, he can do it. No wiggly waggly or anything. No butterfly joint, but your shoulders do have ratchets. They'll go up that far before they hit the wing. And then it'll do a 360. It just depends on how you position everything. They will go all the way up to there and then straight down. You have a bicep joint, little squeaky, double jointed elbow, get you very deep bend. You do have wrist rotation, and due to transformation, you do have a little bit of an up and down. Your thumb is on a ball joint and 2 individual pins, and then each of the 4 fingers have 2 pins, and they are all independent. So that's nice. Got some pretty good hands going on here. You do have a waist swivel, but that is as far as you get. Okay, these will articulate as needed, so don't forget in your posing, you can move those out of the way. You cannot move them forward, backward. They are locked in by these light gray pieces that have the green paint on them. Now, that being said, this will also hinge at 3 points, and if you want, you can fold it up, and you can make it like half length. Alright? Personally, I like the traditional long look, but yes, you can keep it folded up if you wish. It's only half length though, and if you slide this in, you can shorten it, but then you lose articulation and you can only bend it up here and here. This locks into place, so keep that in mind. For the actual hip joints, they can kick out. I'll move this little fin. Kick out that far, which is not very much. Go back that far, which again, decent, but not that much. They can kick out that far with everything in the way. You might be able to get one more. I'm not going to risk it. So that's as far to the side. You do have a rotate just above the knee. Then the knee will do 90 degrees, pretty close. I mean, the joint itself is 90, but because of the way the body looks, it doesn't quite look like it. It does have the little cover down, the little shock here with the cover down armor piece. There we go. Make sure that's as straight as I can get it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Then your feet, you've got a little bit, very little of a rock side to side, very little down and no up. And then you do have, this is a ratchet joint, this is a friction joint. So you do have that movement. You've got some down, no up on the friction joint. And then with the ratchet joint, you can extend that out if you need to. Just all depends on what kind of poses you're trying to do. And now that I've completely discombobulated him, because I did have him standing. So he is a little back heavy, but he can stand well. You just gotta get him set up. There we go. One more click there. His legs are weird though, for actually articulating them. Just where you have to grab them. Like, you can see alone just all the mess that I'm doing to try to get him just into a standing pose. This is not... I like the guy. I'm not trying to make him look bad. But I'm also going to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to do a bunch of stuff off camera if I don't have to. You know, spend 20 minutes getting him to stand and then make it look like, oh, it took me 5 seconds. No. He can be a little pain to get him set up. But there he is. He's standing by himself. No help. Whew. Ooh, ordeal. Okay. I will show you how to transform his sword on camera. That is easy enough. So, open that up. Unfold all this. This center section, you've got these tabs. It will only fold the one way. It won't fold the other way. So, when you're transforming it, keep that in mind. Tab here. Lift up. Rotate. Slot. There you go. And this only rotates the one way because of the way it's set up. There you go. So if you want to have him use it, you would fold this up and you can go ahead and get that tabbed in. Before I do that though, I will show you weapon storage. I could have done this first. but clearly I did not. For folding his weapon back up, the blade has very small little like nubs right there that go into these small holes. So that helps make sure that you've got it folded up properly. Now, for weapon storage, it's not in the book, but it is a thing. Here, this tab, there's a very small slot right in here. Whoops. Right here. This small slot. Tab it in. All you gotta do. And there you go. May not be quite as elegant as Carefree, but it does store on the back. The weapon itself is light, so it won't affect his posability. So, and you can't really see it. You can see the tip of it sticking out behind his head, at least in a straight on. So there you go. And then you just lift up and get it out of there. Now, transform it back. Listen, I never said I was a smart man, you know, I could have done that first. So, open up his hand. It is a very traditional tab and slot. You've got the slot right there. You also have a small tab here on the bottom of his palm. Slot here, or tab here and slot here. Make sure the tab is facing backwards. You can see, or is on the back of the weapon. You can see how it's offset, because the thumb is in the way if you try to do it the other way. And then just firmly grip it. And there you go. And you can see that didn't affect his posability. Like, once you get him posed, he holds it pretty well. I've had him in a couple dynamic poses already. But there you go. He holds it well. I'm partial to having him sling it over his back like that, but... and because of his hands, like, you know, good rotation, you can kind of have him point with it because they have the up and down. Downside is they have the up and down. It might kind of droop a little bit. I've had it do that mainly when I'm messing with the ratchets. That'll give it enough vibration to activate the joint. But still, it's there. And one other thing with this guy, before we finish up here. The stand, you just lift it up, and then you pull this piece out. And you can have it at whatever angle you want. I'm just going to have it straight out right now. Then you come under here, and give me just one click on each. There we go. You have this slot in the middle. There it is. That's going to go right there. There we go. Just had to find the right angle to get it on there. And once you do that, he holds. And since everything else on the stand is all locked in, and that locks into him pretty good, he's pretty good. Whee! Alright, I'm not going to risk it. Get him untabbed. Uh-oh, come on now. There we go. Because I don't usually use stands in my displays, so I'm probably going to continue that trend with this guy and not use the stand. Alright, there we go. Let me go ahead and... Alright, that works. Okay, and let's do a couple of size comparisons. So here is Hellbird, another one from Touchtoys. And you can see, standing toe-to-toe, yeah, head-to-head he's taller, but because of his missiles, which right now are as short as I can make them, yeah, they're pretty close. Pretty close to the same height. And then next up here is Carefree, his other jet Ally, good bit bigger than him. And both of them have similar concepts for the transformations. You know, the head is the cockpit, the chest is the cockpit, wings are on the back with the arms coming out of the center, and then the legs being the back of the fuselage. Only difference is his hands like fold up under the right behind the cockpit, whereas his go as far back as the engines. But you know, pretty similar design philosophies. Then here is MP52 Ultra Thrust, so you can see a standard Takara Seeker mold, and you know, you can see about how 52 fits in with all the other Takara related bots, or like Touchtoys and X-Trans bots. I mean, here you go, you know, just use him as my one comparison for all that stuff. And then finally MPM3, again, just so you can see an average carbot style. Why are you not standing? Why? Well, there he is. I'll just hold him up. You tiny little baby, barely comes up to his waist. Get out of here. I'll fix you in a second. There we go. So, that is it for this guy. And, yeah, I know I did start doing the little turntable for my final thoughts, but I'm not doing it this time. But anyway, so final thoughts on this guy. First of all, appearances, absolutely incredible. He looks amazing with the detail in jet mode and in robot mode. I do like the style. I do like the traditional, like, long Chinese front thing he's got going on. I know some people don't, and like I said, you can kind of segment it and fold it up. There we go. And you can get it up that far, so if you want. Very cool idea for the weapon. That is different, you know, one of these long blades. You can get some pretty good poses out of him. It's just, and it does have good articulation. His hips are a little wonky, but you know, you just have to also be careful where you hold the body when you're moving some of these joints, especially his hips, because they're just good ratchets, but they're strong. The knees too, like, you just got to watch where you hold things, otherwise you might like force something to come untabbed and, you know, fall apart. Or worst case scenario, you might break something if you're really hammer-fisted. But the negatives on this guy, that transformation, wow. It is very complicated, as I said. Even remembering all the steps, like, you got to remember how to move certain parts, the angles you got to move things at. You know, it's some of these things are difficult to tab in or untab, just because of how they all link and jigsaw together. It does mean it's very sturdy in jet mode, and it's pretty sturdy in robot mode. There are, like I said, mainly with the legs because they're hollow. Just gotta watch out there. And then these panels on the arms, if you're moving the arms too vigorously, it's only 2 small tabs that can come undone. But you just tab it back together and you're good. But the point is, it holds together fairly well, robot mode, very, very well in jet mode. But man, it is rewarding in both ways, but what it takes to get there. This is a rough transformation. If you did not like Carefree's transformation, you are going to absolutely hate this guy. So, overall, I'm going to recommend this guy, just like I did for the other 2 Touchtoys robots. I don't even remember if I did a review for Hellbird, but still, point is, I would recommend them. The only caveat is that transformation. If you know you do not like complex transformations, you're going to have to make that mind up yourself. Do you want them just for jet mode? Do you want them and then do it one time, suffer through it to get them to this awesome looking robot mode? Or to you, is it not even worth it? You know, that's something I can't answer. But there he is. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some kind of value out of this. Like I said, look in the description for the transformation video if that's what you're here for. Hopefully I can do it all in one shot. I might have to have a part 1 and part 2 for that thing. But you'll see by the time it's in the description. I just haven't decided at the making of this video. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.